our opponents even more. Who can get more economy through this game as we head on over to the land of Dawn? It's going to be YRG up against FNOC in this match 1.
Okay, so for this game, we will see an assassin versus assassin. Definitely, the vision of this boss fights or the attacks will be very crucial for both Sekais and Kairi. So the problem here is that I think at least for me, it is the Fanatic rather that is much more dependent on a purple buff as compared to a Hayabusa.
Oh, really? Interesting. Because I think at the end of the day, I think purple buff is eventually going to become like a mini Lord objective for either or, right?
It's a mini game in this game.
It is a mini game, to be fair. And I think luckily for you to Red Giants, with the Harith pick on Innocent, that's why you see Yums being so close towards the bottom side of that match. They want to make sure that Innocent is in a better position and can trade more effectively. Let's look at the emblems, though.
Okay, so for the emblems, nothing very unusual actually for our players, and it's very fit for the composition of the other team. So I'm gonna say for Fanatic Onic here that you want to go for the early game, considering that this is also a what's the term for Keyboy? This is expected for him to be very on the aggressive side.
Yeah, I was expecting Keyboy to kind of like skew the lanes very often, but that's already the Oki shadow kill coming out of Sekai's early on. He's got a level lead against Kairi so far, but doesn't die to it, which is great for Fnatic Onic, because we're only expecting Fnatic Onic to get aggressive when they hit level 4.
Yep, and for either Giants, they really have to give space here for Innocent. Since he has the Purifier, there's no really hard crowd control against him. So as long as there's a nice lane for him, it will be effective for them. Although top lane, more pokes.
More pokes like you mentioned. Again, you can see that both teams are giving a lot of respect to each other. And even in the emblems, right, nothing was out of the ordinary. But then I noticed both hold on. Little team getting involved in this part. That might be first blood here if he keeps on taking damage, but that means that they're going to kind of a little chunked out for this upcoming turtle fight, but they do hit 4 on time. Keyboy now in some trouble here, and Sakai wants to take him out. Keyboy tries to flicker in to spread out that damage. Unlucky RNG. That's first blood for Sakai's.
And that's a good thing because there's a turtle already. Keyboy won't be in the position as early as possible to give vision to either Red Giants. And it's very effective, the usage of Sakai's on this Warcry actually, because he knows his thing whenever he's trying to go for a kill against Fnatic Onic. So it's the usual rotation actually for both of our teams. It's just that you have to be mindful of those ultimates and even a flicker. Specifically for Keyboy, since there's an objective later, I'm coming.
Here we go, way the dragon to set it up. You'll try to save the day into the penalty zone. Cram flickers out. He manages to survive, and now the turnaround as Yums finds Kairi and Skies gets involved to take down Lupti.
Oh wow, the break smite activating here for crowd at the same time. What a setup, like counter setup rather for Yums. That is why for them it's going to be easy to secure that turtle objective, and things are looking good here for Uter and Giants.
Speaking of which, they're already getting involved in trying to steal away as many camps from Kairi as possible. This level lead on Skies can be dangerous, but now that every lane has a lead, this means that Uter Red Giants are more inclined to steal the economy.
And definitely here for Uter Red Giants, we will expect Innocent to be part of the team fight later on. So for Fnatic Onic, the thing is that they have to give space for Chewit. They have to open up that lane. But for Uter Red Giants, they're just continuously rotating. Even Yums on the area of Kairi's jungle.
Yep, they're trying to take away this purple buff here. Good kick on towards Yums' side. He goes down. Lupti is able to find that kill as Sakai quickly gets on out of there. No purple buff steal for them, but they even lose Yums in that interaction.
So that's a good take for Fnatic Onic. But yeah, for Uter Red Giants, they have to be mindful of those type of aggressive plays, because at the end of the day, for Fnatic Onic, they are known as a team that could penalize mispositioned play from Uter Red Giants. And we could see a Skype user here already for Sekai. So expect those pokes, even though he's not using his ultimate against Sans, or even Chero at the bottom lane.
Here we go, penalty zone onto Look B one more time. Implosion as well. Kind of Sky's getting involved. Oh man, this should be a guaranteed kill for Sakai. As soon as he goes into his ult, Kyrie can't have a target to find, and he gets it onto Sakai. Waits patiently, catches him off guard, and that's going to reset the stacks.
That's a very nice play for Kyrie there. I think for Red Giants, they weren't aware that Kyrie ball at the middle lane, another kill. But yeah, it's now Fnatic Onic doing a place against Red Giants, which is actually a good thing. They don't have to be reacting on the place of YRG, so they're making up their own way to somehow limit that lead. We haven't seen like a huge lead around 1.5k. It's just running around below 1,000.
I mean, they gotta keep that lead as minimal as possible.
Yeah.
Fnatic Onic is only gonna get stronger throughout this game. Keep in mind that they still have insurance policies like CW to scale, who just bought the golden staff, by the way. So he's being very efficient, but let's take our time here. Upcoming turtle, we see Boy get the kick. Oh, into the final slash, gets two. Stormy still survives, but in the back line, we see that Sakai's and Crown are trying their best to get out of that situation here. As he pulls away with Watch Shadows, man, just wait, he's still alive, goes even harder. And still keep on waiting down by the edge of the Quad Shadows once again. Dangerous stuff by Red Giants as Fnatic Onic reset.
And this was interesting for this game. Majority of the players actually used all of their ultimates, all the resources, but there's no casualty. Again, the respect is there. We saw the pokes from Sekai's. We saw the Eternal Guard being used here by Sans. And at the same time, for Red Giants, they know how to disengage if ever they're very far from the usual perimeter of the team fights. And looking at the items, okay, so Sky Piercer here for Sekai's. We have the Blade of Heptasis for Kyrie. So we all know that this junglers will be focused more on identifying those viable targets, which are very crucial on the team fight.
Keep in mind, even with the emblems involved, you can tell that they want to do completely separate things despite being assassins. Sakai doesn't mind having a more prolonged trade. Kyrie, it's in and out. He needs instant value. He has no time to wait for a war cry.
Yep, and actually, that's why for Sans, he went in for...
Oh, what a punish there! Fnatic Onic making sure that Sakai needs to respect the space. And now they continue to move over towards Turtle area. Cram and Stormy looking for an angle here. Lose as well, starting to encroach on their space. Purple buff will be secured by Kyrie. Okay, kind of gets into the middle of it. Keyboy, he could go for the kick. Goes for Stormy instead, pushing him further and further away. He's going to get knocked back and he can't get out of there. Keyboy flickers away, survives, and Kyrie takes the turtle. In the meantime, Lupti as well as Keyboy guarding their borders.
Yeah, what I was about to say that I think it was very early for Keyboy for that Sona. It was very efficient for them. It turned out that taking that turtle objective, and at the same time, after doing that objective, Kyrie goes in for probably a third push at the bottom lane, which is actually good because there's no trade from Red Giants, but the Fnatic Onic takes two, the turtle and a turret.
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful stuff coming in from Fnatic Onic, right? They have tempos and timings that we even here aren't seeing just yet. That's how intense these moment-to-moment plays are going to be made. If somebody misses an ability, it's like, you're as good as dead. You have to play mechanically perfectly.
And speaking of playing mechanically, it's Chero actually doing effectively on the laning. So later on, we could see the gold conversion. So yeah, Innocent and even Chero's showdown later on. Probably around 10 minutes, or yeah, 10 minutes of this game. If Fnatic Onic goes in for another aggressive play, but so far, the connection of Loopy and Keyboy is really on point. The vision from Keyboy and the surprising final slash from Loopy.
Yeah, man, this is a fantasy match, man. We were hoping that this was going to be the match of all times during the group stages between these two teams, but now it looks like Fnatic Onic, really, those internal issues aren't showing themselves just yet. Now we see that Red Giants trying to control the top side of the map with both Yums and Innocent waiting to catch anybody caught slacking.
You know what, for Red Giants, they have to minimize the turrets or the vision of Fnatic Onic by pushing the turrets. There you go.
Nice.
Again.
Skies again getting hit by the Quad Shadows, making sure that he doesn't exactly have the most flexibility jumping into these fights, and more importantly, getting hit by the fear from Sans. It looks like Fnatic Onic evening up the score. And wait, hold on, the final slash catches two. It looks like perhaps he's trying to zone them up there, double knock up there. coming in a triple knockup, as a matter of fact, but still no trades just yet. Kyrie now getting involved with it will try and force the Lord out of Udu Red Giants' hands.
That is because of the intel that majority of the flickers are actually the ultimates of some of the players here from UB Red Giants has been used. But we'll see if there's going to be a contest.
It's secured by Kyrie, and SRG are going to back away. This point in time, 5-5, 10 minutes into this game, but with a Lord in the hands of Fanatic Onic, we're expecting to see the goal discrepancy to increase.
Yep, things are looking good for Fanatic Onic on this game. Now for you, the Red Giants, we don't see much yet from Innocent, probably because there's no decent setup from Yums yet. So it's just Fanatic Onic focusing on being so fast to the point that the crowd control skills of the Red Giants are not used whenever there's a team fight.
Well, here we go. Ooh, good kick out to Cram, making sure that everything's being thrown out the wall and canceling the implosion at the same time. Fanatic Onic doesn't make a mistake. They haven't made a mistake. And Luffy wants to get involved. It's going to be the SOD that finds the kill, a double for CW as Kyrie takes out Sakai's. Fanatic Onic owning that moniker.
Just when we said that Keyboy, there's some players of Fanatic Onic, is it giving you, the Red Giants, the chance to use those ultimates? What a nice cancel on that implosion versus Hume. So we know a tie grill. If we set up some play, that's a good counterplay. But for Fanatic Onic, they know the threat of the enemy team.
Look at the momentum. Innocent nearly dying there. Despite having the Z-Force dropped down, despite having the shields, they lose 2 inhibitors 11 minutes into the game. Fanatic Onic really stretching this lead.
Yeah, Fanatic Onic is on a roll. And knowing that this is just a first Lord, this is a very, very nice usage of the Lord, by the way, because most of the time it's just the first Lord. It's just the second defense of the turret.
Usually tier 2s.
Yeah, tier 2s, but for this, it's the inhibitor turret, and not 1, but 2. So Sans and Keyboy do a great job in terms of their synergy.
Oh, the good kick once again. Crab can't seem to get any space. He penalty zones in, but everybody is going to bite the dust. Fanatic Onic punishing. You want to fight for purple? We will take 4 kills. The Oki Shadow kill is spread out amongst all 5 of them, but really, what's the point? Sakai's has to run. It's going to get chased out by Kyrie himself. Auto. I'm going to take back my crown, Prince. Sit down. What a game this is. What a game. It's fast, it's simple, it's sweet, it's Fanatic Onic at its prime.
Yup. When Kyrie said during the interview that they're prepared against YRG on this league, on this tournament, and they're excited to face them again, this is their answer. This is the reason. Their performance was on point.
I gotta give it to them. Fanatic Onic played phenomenally here. What I thought was 50-50s, it wasn't even close. Sans just making sure that nothing was working for them. Well, Churros, what do you gotta think about? What do you think about this? What do you think about the game overall?
I was like sitting here just watching the game with you guys, and every single time YRG makes a move, I was like, oh, flip my mic up and all of that. That was like just like touching, like Chantal was like pushing her away because like there's a huge thing happening. Because every single fight really did matter at the end of the day. I've got a couple of things to say, and the first is like how the Lord dance has changed. Because the way that YRG actually lost that match was that they like to play a 4-1 kind of composition, putting in the early game into mid-game, putting Innocent on the off lane, trying to get a 1-to-1 matchup against that Moskov, against Chelway. But at the end of the day, in the Lord fight, it was because you don't have that frontline tank on the utility junglers, you don't have the Fredrins and the Barats anymore, you need to be able to utilize your tanks and your basically your EXP lanes to try to start off that fight, try to zone everything out before the assassins really come in. In this game, YRG was a little bit too impatient because of the way that Sakai likes to come in, jump in once the implosion has been thrown. It was a little bit too trigger happy, and he thinks that he's a little bit too overconfident on that matchup. But one match point away, man. And Fanatic Onic has to be feeling good.
I mean, I'm sure they're feeling good, but better yet, I think most of the time when we're expecting that big engagement coming in from Jungs, he gets canceled out by Sans like rather consistently.
Yeah, and at the same time, even the usage of Keyboy's Shunpo, right? There are many instances where he uses the Shunpo and then goes in for the kick so that there's no counter crowd control against him. So it was a pretty fast game actually for Fnatic. I was expecting that this is gonna be like a 20-minute game or not lower than 15. because mechanically speaking, these players are really good. But yeah, for Fanatic Onic, they just know that they have to counter Yunes and even Cram's hero.
I just want to point out that Zakai's actually went for the Sky Piercer first item. It could
Yep.
be a really good item in the first early stage of the game if you are able to maintain your kills. But if you're constantly dying and you know that Fanatic Onic is constantly hyper focusing on you, whenever you jump in, you get stunned up, knocked up, and then you get deleted from the game. You have to consider selling that item, go for a little bit more defensive or a more sustainable form of damage. Because Sky Piercer, yes, the passive is good, but if you can't build up those stacks, the damage is not going to show.
I mean, as much as the damage doesn't show, I felt like because he was bought so early on into the game, you're just sacrificing stats, right? Which inevitably like slows down your farm.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
slows down every other aspect in the game. You might as well just hold on to it until you've got the other items. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
But
but there's a reason why a lot of the pro teams are not building Sky Piercers anymore. We've seen a lot of other pro teams, like you think like the Sky Piercer is a broken
Yeah,
item,
like a first
meta
item.
or not. So
Yeah.
this segment we want to bring in because like a lot of like typical public players, they like to build their Sky Piercers in the early game and just snowball their way through. But you're playing a pro match with a team that you kind of have your research done on, you're studied on, and you want to be able to play or sustain through that long game. So it's a